scholars. You know, it's a weird time to be a gamer. There's so many good games and so many bad games. When I just got them, you know, playing Call of Duty, and in a lot of regards, it's just awful. Zombies is just zombies from Black Ops 6, and then the multiplayer is just either you love it or hate it. The campaign, we can all agree, is just awful AI slop. And then you get games like Arc Raiders, you're having a great time. Borderlands was kind of like in the middle where it should have been amazing, and then had a lot of buggy issues, and then they had no real end game, and then they started nerfing everything and just treating it like a live service game, even though it's a single player game. Like, man, I'm about to go back to play fucking Skyrim. I'm about to go call me Skyrim grandpa, because I feel like that's what's gonna happen here. But gaming has always been a mixed mash of an experience. That has nothing to do with video. I just felt like talking about it. What we're talking about this video, you never know what intro you're gonna get from me. What we're gonna talk about is the lawsuit. That's right. Well, I guess the theme of the video is play stupid games, get stupid prizes. Luckily, I didn't spend $70 on Call of Duty, so I didn't feel like I got any stupid prizes. But Activision sure did, because it's probably the least played Call of Duty they've ever made. So, but talk about not being played. Bungie is not playing games. And when I mean that, it means they've given up on the lawsuit. There has been a settlement on the lawsuit between the dude who's like, yo, you copied my books, as well as the Grimoire. Let's see, the lawsuit where an author accused Bungie of copying elements of his work from Destiny 2 Red War to Curse of Cyrus campaigns, as well as the Grimoire anthology books as in it. Yeah, he was adding on at some point. He was just adding on shit. It's funny. It really is funny, because this whole lawsuit probably would not have had any traction if it was not for the fact that, one, Bungie had removed all evidence that they could use to defend themselves, and they tried using My Name is Bife's video as a defense, and the judge is like, are you fucking stupid? That's how I feel when people like try to defend Bungie. It's like, are you stupid? Because they have no real arguments, and even Bungie can't argue in court. And the other one is that they stole art, not just obviously Marathon, but they got called out, which revealed that they have stolen art multiple times, whether it's them or someone that they've hired. It still looks really bad as a company. And so here we are at the conclusion, the finale. And I've reacted to multiple videos on this as it's gone on. We are finally at the conclusion. I never thought we would be here a year later. We're at the conclusion. Bungie has fully settled the Destiny 2 Red War copyright lawsuit with writer Matthew Martinu. I've never been able to say his name right. Ending a year-long legal fight. The copyright lawsuit against Bungie over Destiny 2's Red War campaign has finally come to an end. The case was first filed in October 2024 by sci-fi writer Matthew Kelsey Martinu. I don't care. Who claimed Bungie copied major parts of his 2013-2014 online stories. He argued that Destiny... I'm thinking Warframe came out in 2011, right? He argued that Destiny 2's Red Legion faction, the Red War plot, and the several story elements were taken from his work. I keep forgetting that Destiny 2 came out in 2016, so that's where the argument's coming in. That Destiny's Red Legion faction, the Red War plot, and the several story elements were taken from his work. Once the case survived Bungie's attempt to get it dismissed, it moved along into a long discovery process that pulled old campaigns, lore, and even YouTube videos into discussion, even though the last part was not even allowed in the case. It was dismissed. As the case went on, Martinu kept expanding his claims. He first added Curse of Cyrus expansion, saying it also overlapped with his original writing. Then earlier, by the way, some of the shit that he was citing, I actually looked at the lawsuit. Some of it was like generic spaceship bullshit, and like, what? Like, it was very egregious. Like some of the shit that he was trying to put in as like this is what they stole. And it's so generic. It's so out of like pocket reach. The edition came on top of the narrative claim already targeting the Red War Legion story themes and world building elements inside Destiny 2. Now it appears the entire fight is over. A new filing shows that the lawsuit has been settled in full. All claims are done and the case will not go to trial. Destiny 2 Red War lawsuit update. They settled, all according to the new court filing. According to a minute entry obtained by the Game Post, a settlement conference was held on November 12th, 2025 in front of the magistrate Judge North. It says the talks were successful and that they resulted in the settlement of all claims. A settlement conference was conducted on this date before the undersigned magistrate judge. The file readings. Negotiations were successful and resulted in a settlement of all claims. The court thanks the council and the parties for their efforts in bringing this matter to a amicable resolution. Update November 14th. A new court filing obtained by the Game Post has now made the settlement official. Judge Susie Morgan has issued an order confirming that all parties have firmly agreed upon a compromise in this case. The court has dismissed the lawsuit in its entirety without cost. Ooh. The judge, what does that mean? Just so we're aware. Because I'm not, what does court, the court has terminated the lawsuit entirely. Neither party is ordered to pay the other's legal cost. This means the case is over, but the court has decided not to penalize anyone for making them pay the other side's expenses. Ooh, that's actually pretty fucking huge. That's actually pretty fucking huge. We'll get to that in a minute. The judge also gave a 60-day window for either side to reopen the case if the settlement falls apart for any reason. The order states that the court is keeping jurisdiction during this 60-day period so it can enforce the settlement if needed. The courts have been advised that all parties have firmly agreed upon a compromise in this matter. It is ordered that the action be and is hereby dismissed as all parties without cost and without prejudice to the rights upon good cause shown, with 60 days to reopen the action if the settlement has not consummated. The order reads, in addition, the court specifically retained jurisdiction to enforce the settlement agreement if the settlement is not consummated within 60 days. This filing confirms that the case is closed on the court docket with no trial expected unless the settlement fails to be completed within 60 days. Original story at this time, there's no information on the settlement terms. We do not know the amount, whether non-monetary conditions were included, or the final agreement treats the Red War, Curse of Cyrus, or the Grimoire Anthology. If more documents appear in the case file, we will update a section accordingly. This is not the only legal issue Bungie has been facing. A separate lawsuit involving former Destiny 2 game director Christopher Barrett is still active. Barrett sued Bungie and Sony, seeking $200 million and accusing Bungie of wrongful termination to avoid paying a $50 million. Barrett was reportedly fired from Bungie after at least 8 female. Okay, now we're going on. Yeah. So let's talk about this. First off, where I think, Louisiana. That's important. We'll talk about it in a minute. So this does not immediately say Bungie's guilty, but in the public eye, they're guilty. $1 billion company gets sued by some random Joe Schmo, some writer, which apparently only, I think I was seeing people talk about how only like 3 copies of the book had been sold or something like that. Like, here's the deal. Bungie is now guilty in the eyes of the public. You know, and I know that doesn't make any fucking sense, right? That's not how how legally that works. I may not know a lot of legal stuff, but I know that's not how that works. However, it looks fucking bad from $1 billion company. And I think this guy made bank. And if this was any other game company, they would have countered him and shut him down. However, there's multiple things working against Bungie. One, they have a history of stolen art. The marathon drama that happened around the same time only cemented, and it's fresh, right? That's just more information to use against them, especially when you think about Louisiana, right? You have a bunch of jury, random dudes, girls, whatever. You have random people. I'm sure a little writer is going to connect with a jury of, Joe Schmoes. And they're like, look at me. I'm the little guy, this billion-dollar company who has a history of stealing shit. In fact, their biggest drama is that they stole from another artist. They can't get away with this shit. I'm almost certain they would have lost. Sometimes when it comes to court cases, it's about meeting, you know, people talk about not being biased. We all fucking know that court cases are fucking biased. If it wasn't the case, then people wouldn't try to feel like lawyers wouldn't try to, you know, specifically put people in that they can kind of hope are going to be biased, right? There's a whole loophole going on there, right? I don't know a lot of legal stuff, but I know enough of that bullshit. Seen enough rich people get out of fucking bullshit that they shouldn't get out of. But anyways, this looks bad for Bungie. It looks truly, truly bad. And I think the reason they did this is because, one, Marathon's not looking good. And they're desperate to start building some. Their reputation has been shot to hell. Sony wants Marathon to come out. Bungie wants us to have a big shot. And the last thing they need is all these legal arguments going on at the same time, which is going to kill the reputation. I think it's going to happen anyways. It's already fried. But I think this is them, you know, they're trying to move past this. They're trying to, how can we we're in the negative. We're losing money for Sony. We're losing money because we're being sued. We've got to bite the bullet. I think that's what this is. Bungie bought the bullet. Whether they are right or wrong, it doesn't matter. They conceded to the fact and they made a settlement, which anything that isn't zero is a win. If this guy got more money than what he spent, which I'm assuming in order for this guy to get a settlement, he probably took not only whatever would pay for his lawyer fees and all the court fees, but also some money. Because what was he wanting? What was he seeking? How much money was this guy? How much money was the guy who sued Bungie for the Red War story seeking? Okay, what was his name? It was Montessori. It was Montessori Matthew. I want to know how much money he was seeking. Like, how much was he suing for? How much was he suing Bungie for? How much shit did he want? Everyone's talking about the lawsuit, but I want to know how much it actually was going to take. All right, I want to, sneeze in your face. I just want to know how much was it they were suing for. Yeah, this shows everything. Holy, yeah, just look how long this was taking. April, all these attachment, Exhibit D, Declaration, Expedition, Declaration of Tyson Green. Dude, I actually want to see this. Declaration of Tyson Green in support of Bungie Inc.'s motion to dismiss all counts of first amended complaint, which is funny because they failed. All of these were attempts to remove buy on Pacer. Okay, so they're just trying to get you to buy shit. Yeah, so they were trying to get this dismissed, and it was failing. Bungie was failed. That's an important thing. Bungie failed to get this dismissed. They tried so damn hard. Now into court, Declaration Tyson Green, exhibit YouTube video, the complete story. That was the trending. YouTube, they tried again. Oh no, they tried Destinypedia. No. Oh, they tried Destinypedia. No. In assessing a motion to dismiss under rule, the court is limited to evaluating legal sufficiency. That's so funny. They tried so hard. They put all these Guys, we don't actually have evidence, so we're using everything else. No wonder Bungie probably would have fucking lost, and I will laugh my ass off. But no, seriously, any other company would have absolutely said fuck off, and they would have shut this shit down. But this is Bungie we're talking about. They somehow managed to shoot themselves in the foot, and it's karma. And honestly, people are like, this is setting a bad precedent. No, it's setting a good precedent, and it's telling Bungie to fuck off. I'm glad it happened to Bungie. Fuck them. Any other company will sue the shit out of whoever or counter whoever is trying to sue them. And for all we know, maybe the guy is right. Maybe Bungie did steal shit from them. We know that they stole early artwork for Destiny 1, so who fucking knows? Damn, this answer to amend complaint. Okay, so what is all this shit? Buy through and design general denial. Bungie denies each and every allegation except as specifically admitted, answered, or otherwise qualified herein. The parties is an individual fully aged. Answer: Bungie does not have sufficient knowledge or information as to the truth of the allegations set forth in paragraph 1 and therefore denies those allegations. And okay, what was it? Is an individual full age. K is informed, believes that basis that defendant entity is a corporation registered, formed, and currently existed, yada yada. Admits. Answer: the allegations paragraph contains legal conclusion, do not require response. To the extent any response is required, Bungie does not have sufficient knowledge. So, okay, so this is just generic court shit. I'm just seeing what all these answers and questions are. Injunction and other equitable relief under copyright. The court has subject, do not require response. Bungie does not dispute that this court has subject matter. Okay. It's just generic bullshit that I'm seeing so far. Bungie denies all legal conclusions. Defendant advertised marketing infringes the game in the state of, and communicate directly with users in the state of Louisiana, including the persons, yada yada. Admits that advertises market in Louisiana, communicates with users located, does not remain legal conclusions or allegations. Okay, so it just seems like generic ass shit. I don't know. Yeah, just the generic. They're just denying. Hey, do you agree with this? No, we deny it. We deny. That's all that this is. Holy shit. Deny. Yeah, so that's interesting. How long does this go? So October this year. Witness and exhibit list by Matthew Kelsey. Now comes plaintiffs through undersigned counsel who submits this witness and exhibit list. A will call witness list. The following witnesses will be called in absence of reasonable notice. Who the fuck are all these people? They've got witnesses? Anyway, so it seems like the process correction of the docket entry by clerk. Dude, this has gone on. Motion for leave to file second supplement amendment complaint will be submitted. Referred to Michael North. Holy shit, this just went on. In response, filed by Bungie. What? Defendant Bungie. Myron's second belated motion to compel any further illustration how he has failed to diligently timely prosecute the case. 8 days after Martinez filed his first motion to compel, he lodged another untimely and deficient motion to compel focused on his second set of discovery request rule. Notice. Similarly, has rejected Bungie's repeated offers to dispose its corporate witnesses and its request to meet and confer to narrow any dispute related to yada yada. On October, with less than 3 weeks until the close of discovery, sought for the first time to dispose Bungie's. I don't know what these terminologies are. I don't know. It seems like they're trying their hardest. Holy shit! And here we go. settlement conference. That's crazy. Yeah, this went on. This wasn't just like, this was going on for quite some time. Yeah, this is crazy. I'm not a, you know, big brain. I don't do legal work. I find it really funny. What do comments say? No wonder Bungie stole around $120 worth of content from every fan and lied about it ever come back. Cheap payout rather than fight over something Bungie cannot disprove without a working game, huh? Maybe don't lay off so many people. It is kind of funny. Let's see what the comments saying. Does this mean we could be getting some content back at some point? Let's go. This is what they deserve for vaulting content they paid for. I agree. Play Warframe. Wonder how much money he got. Fantastic news. People are going to cry saying that Bungie stole when they don't even know what this full settlement means. They're not wrong. I said it too, that this is just going to make people believe that they did steal. Again, public opinion, it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. Once it's out there, it's out there. For those saying sometime it's cheaper to settle, it's not an admission of guilt. It is. In the public, you can't say this. You're right. You are right. But in the public eye, in the gaming industry, it's an admission of guilt. Remember, Bungie just had to go through a marathon for using artwork that wasn't theirs. So it's not like this is a one-off. I read his poetry. Not only is it bad, it does not compare to the Red War story in the slightest. How did they fumble this? How does Bungie fumble one of the biggest possible franchises potential-wise and watch it die? When they got busted for stealing art from Marathon, it kind of forced their mission. They don't have a way to check for plagiarism. Exactly. They shot themselves in the foot by deleting the previous content. They were unable to defend themselves after the judge banned third-party videos of content, which was based to the fucking judge. They didn't fumble. Regardless of whether they won or lost the court case, they chose to fight it. Settling it is way cheaper, which is funny. They could have settled it way beforehand. So the fact that they settled now, and here's the deal. Let's play devil's advocate. Let's say the dude settled. Maybe he can't afford to keep suing. Maybe he was losing. He's like, you know what? Let's settle. Maybe the dude can do it. He's going against Bungie. Bungie knows how to burn money, and they have a high burn rate. So, you know, who knows how much money they're willing to burn. And this dude is just a little dude, a little author. Maybe he was screwed. Maybe he's like, hey, okay, let's settle. It still looks bad for Bungie because everyone, unless we get the specific details, as long as Bungie is silent or there's silence about it, people are going to let speculation run out the door, and it's always going to go in the negative for Bungie. It's never going to go positive, especially with the art theft that they've had previously. It's always going to go negative. Whether you think that's fair or not, it doesn't matter. That's just how it works. That's just reality. Not that it's a fair reality, but life's not fair. The asshat that was stretching that shit when he tried to include the Grimoire stories, his lawyer probably warned him he was overreaching at that point and to take whatever settlement payout he could with the Red Ward or Cyrus accusations. This guy was probably able to stretch this enough that Bungie was willing to settle. Even if he decided, like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. At this point, I think it forced this whole situation definitely forced Bungie's hand. Like, at the worst case for this guy, he was forced to settle, but so much damage was done to Bungie's public view that they were probably willing to you know, settle for some money. Again, if he was able to get, you know, his money back from the lawsuit and more, he won. If he was just trying to really hurt Bungie, then he still won. Bungie didn't steal anything. That guy's just dumb because he was mad that his writing stuff sounds similar with some words to their lore. Hello, how dumb is that guy to call it theft when they use similar words? I think it's funny because you can't call the guy dumb if he was actually being successful. And I say successful because any other billion-dollar company, especially video game wise, would have shut this shit down within the month. That's what's like, he's not dumb. Bungie's dumb. He just might be greedy. So they admit guilt by settling. Uh-oh. Bungie defenders. Probably just cheaper in the long run. If you actually look in the case, it's ridiculous. And the dude would never won, but was dragging it out as long as possible. No more like they can't prove him wrong because Red War was deleted rather than remake it. That's never what a settlement has meant. But this is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what people think or what the reality is. It's what people think, right? Settlement can mean a lot of different outcomes. That's just naive for you to say. I love that people are trying to no. Doesn't matter. You're fighting against the wind. People will come to the conclusion. So basically, Bungie does plead guilty behind closed doors. And here's the thing. You can be like, oh, this is just Twitter. Or you could say Reddit. But let's be honest. This is just how life is. Especially when people don't like the company. Hell, people can say the same thing about, political people. It's like, I forgot what the terminology, but it's biased, right? It's not self-fulfilling bias. No. What is it? Essentially, it's people are willing to accept it because it fits in their bias and into their narrative, right? Even if it's not true, they're gonna run with it because they're like, hey, yeah, right? So oh no, that means it's true that it was all lifted. So does this mean that they pay and we'll add this like a surprise expansion? Dude, I don't know what's funnier. The people that think that, people who think that they're actually going to change people's opinion, that a settlement doesn't mean that they're guilty, or the fact that people think that this means we're going to get Red War back. The guy after Bungie caved in. I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far. Dude, I don't think anyone expected them to get this far. A year? And it was going, baby. It was going. They'd rather spend millions on a scammer than remake Red War to help new players. Nah, fuck Bungie. This is the Bungie folk are saying should make a new Halo game from this marathon filled with stolen art. Proof you can apparently claim any sunset part of D2 and get away with it if you can just make sure it's properly vaulted. All this should let people play unreleased version consoles from 2013. Sad. The other two Guardians in your quick play strike. Settling is not an admission of fault. You can call this cope, but legal battles are expensive, and this is a business that will continue to profit off the content in question. It's reasonable to consider settlements as an admission of guilt. The two Guardians in your quick play strike. But it is perfect. This is reality, like what the truth is, but this is reality. He's right. This person's not wrong, but this is how people are going to see it. Art raiders from the start. They were really art raiders. This is how people are going to see it. It's funny as fuck. It's incredible, likely that Bungie were forced into settlement here because of some deleting the Red War campaign from Destiny 2. And I'm not joking. This was the funniest way it could possibly backfire on them. Chef's kiss. It's embarrassing that Bungie put themselves in this position because the guy's claims range from claiming ownership over some common sci-fi tropes to make up mechanics and concepts that were never in the game to fit his claim. It's funny, and Bungie can't even disprove that it wasn't in the game because it's not in the game. They can't disprove it. That's what's fucking funny. They can't say that was never in the game. Well, you have no evidence to show. I cannot believe Bungie does not have a copy of their own game to use at the court to actually prove this guy is full of BS. My God, Bungie, please pack it up. Anything but unvaulting Red War. I'd like to see everything presented by both sides, and I have a very strong suspicion that the reason there was a settlement was purely because of the Destiny content vault, which is so fucking funny. It is. Let me tell you, when I say that this puts a smile on my face, it makes me feel so happy that they got fucked over for this. You fucked the consumer, karma came back and fucked you over. It puts a smile on my face and a glimmer in my heart when a $1 billion company gets fucked over. After Bungie denial, dismissal, and the lawsuit moving forward in discovery because of YouTube's video and community content couldn't produce a justifiable basis for dismissal, the entire basis of defense rested on content that was so removed and altered from the original game, Even Bungie themselves no longer have access to during discovery to establish a defense, making an undisclosed settlement the only path forward. This could have major implications and precedents for future developers and even Bungie. Yeah. You know what the future precedence is and implications? People aren't going to fucking delete and remove content from their game. That's the precedent. Don't be a dumb fuck. Don't be like Bungie, billion-dollar companies. Don't be a dumb fuck that removes paid content. Oh my God, this is so fucking funny. I don't know what that says. And about to sue this clown too for stealing the content I paid for in years of mental and emotional abuse. Literally anyone can win against these goobers. You're not wrong. You know, if they didn't take shit we paid for, see, this is the thing. People are going to see this as a W and a loss for Bungie, no matter what you think a settlement means. That's the bottom dollar. Bungie took the L. For those that don't know, this is what is known as a nuisance cost, i.e. it's more expensive to defend a winning position than it is just to pay someone to fuck off. You know, what's funny though, is this went on for a year. It's not a nuisance cost, is this, we didn't expect this shit to go on for a year. We may actually lose this. Because like I said, if they got a jury that felt empathetic to the little guy with the evidence of Bungie stealing, when there's like 5 instances of Destiny theft, and then you also have Marathon, the big debacle with that, and it was all over news, like, and the fact that there's no longer content for Bungie to defend it. Listen, I think, like, again, it doesn't matter the lawyers or the judge. If there's a jury trial in Louisiana, there's a good chance Bungie could have lost. Appeasing to the hearts. They could have actually lost, and maybe that was their fear, is that they did not want to take a chance. They don't want to fuck around and find out. This is we don't want to fuck around and find out. Bungie gave the guy a martillion dollars. Listen, if they settled willingly of him, he's got to at least get 6 figures. Absolutely, he's got to get at least 6 figures, something 6 figures. Get that fucking bag, bro, up soon. Yeah, let's line up, guys. Everyone get your listings. We're going to all sue Bungie. I'm going to sue them for taking away Forsaken. Join with me. They have nothing, you know, they stole my content. Bungie actually settled with the artists. Holy shit. Bungie would have definitely won if they respected their work enough to keep it available, but no, they'd rather settle a crap suit that make a functioning build because it's cheaper. Embarrassing. That's true. It is cheaper to just give this guy 100K than to put effort into making a good, you know, breaking content that they removed back. Honestly, this was just the only way out of Schrodinger's IP infringement case after the judge ruled that YouTube videos were inadmissible. Yeah, I think that this is what gave this case a lot more leverage. The fact that they could not use videos, and it's just so funny. It's so fucking funny because if a legal judge can't say that this is not acceptable to use as a replacement for real content, imagine how vindicated everyone who had their content removed when it comes to the game, how vindicated they feel. Like, haha, that's what you get. Luke Smith haunting them is funny. I feel sorry for the small time employees, of course, but karma always finds a way. Hi, I also didn't have any ideas still. I also didn't have my ideas still from Bungie, but I'm happy to pretend like they did. I would too like to set off quarter of this matter, please and thank you. Then there's me. Turns out by Volta, they didn't mean store. They meant jump over a wall and left in the dust. Not a surprised outcome. Curious about the settlement deal specifics, but I imagine Bungie laborers getting told to resolve ASAP to start bleeding money. That said, the author is a real scumbag that drug out Discovery. No. This is the hero we needed. This is the hero we as a community really needed. This is what we call karma. He is the embodiment of karma, and I salute him. Now, if you try to sue anyone else, that makes no sense. Get fucked. I hope you get what you deserve. But shout out for going for the bag, for fucking over one of the scummiest companies out there when, you know, competing with EA and Ubisoft. Like, shout out to this guy doing the Lord's work. I'm 90% convinced Bungie settled because of the DCV, and I cannot stop smiling at the thought of them losing a ton of money for blatantly anti-consumer move. It feels good. Listen, everyone that is a consumer should be applauding this and happy about this. And if you're upset that Bungie got fucked over, you're the problem. You're the problem, kiddo. People commenting don't even fucking read. Like, quite obvious he realized he's too deep by adding more into the claims. You're not, listen, it doesn't matter what you say or think. The gaming majority, the industry, they see this as Bungie admitting guilt. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's just how it goes. And people think that Bungie has a positive reputation. If people are this excited for their downfall, listen, their reputation is so cooked that they need to pull a 343 Industries move and change their name. Vaulting content bit Bungie in the ass, so they were forced into selling a lawsuit. LML. People don't know how full settlements work, and it's more expensive to rebuild Red War from ground zero. Hater bonerism is quite a thing. Yeah, and I don't give a fuckism is even stronger, because that is the mentality of the gaming industry. I don't give a fuckism. This company deserves to get fucked over. Knew they were guilty. No company in their right mind removes stuff and then permanently deletes it. Screams guilty. Got to get rid of the evidence. What a joke of a company. You know, that is an interesting play. What if that is the reason why we've yet to get Forsaken and all this other, anything pre-Forsaken back? The music really changed for this. It's like this underground plot twist. Tinfoil hat. What if it is? What if it was stolen and this was them trying to remove the evidence? What if someone Activision found out, or what if Activision found out and kept it hush hush, and when they left Activision, Bungie's like, we've got to remove the evidence because we get sued, not Activision. No longer Activision can deal with our legal issues. We'll get sued and we can't handle that. So they removed it quickly. Hush hush. It was all part of the plan. Bungie was hiding evidence because they knew. It was in front of our face this entire time. They got caught with their pants down, but they tried to get rid of it before someone caught on. They were no longer under the protection of Activision. It's all there. Obviously, that's just all bullshit I just made up. But what if, right? What if? We don't know, and we'll never know. Anyways, I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. Enjoy the random what if end of the video, and I'll see you next one.